Bear down, Bears fans. I'm going to give you 3 Chicago Bears that are on the hot seat with the new rookie draft class coming in, expected to make an impact. And it starts right now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So this draft class coming in, expected to make a real impact pretty quickly. So there's going to be some players that are on a little bit of a hot seat here coming in. And I think we got to start with the obvious one, right? I know everybody expects this big jump in career and this big showing for him, even though he's supposed to have been ready coming out of college. But I think the number one player that's on the hot seat coming in that's going to be struggling possibly for playing time if somebody pans out is going to be Bayless Jones. Well, I know he was supposed to be this special teamer that was supposed to be impactful. Maybe in the punt return game he still can be, but with Tyreek Stevens coming in this offseason, I think that he's somebody who did some special teams work. I think that he's going to be somebody who could take over most of that special teams role. And then you look on the offensive side with Tyler Scott. Hey, this guy's going to take a good chunk of the wide receiver reps, in my opinion. I think he's going to be a bigger deep threat for Justin Fields to look at. So to me, I think Bayless Jones really has to step his game up if he wants to be a part of this team moving forward. Now, does that mean that he can't do that? Of course not, right? It's all on him. I'm not saying that it's going to be impossible for Bayless to step up, but I think that second year into the league, you usually don't hear about people being talked about as somebody who the pot is boiling on already, right? But I think the showing last season was just so down that you're kind of hoping for the best here, but you're also prepared for the worst. I want to see him show out. I want to see him go out there and turn into this player that Ryan Poles believed he could be, because I think that we could have a really dominant receiver room if we have 2 speedsters in this lineup that can take the top off, because it means, wow, listen, you send Tyler Scott on a streak, I bet Justin Fields hits him on a deep route. That means the next time down you can use Tyler as a decoy. Maybe you got Bayless going the other side, right? Like there's so many options that you can have with multiple speedsters in this lineup. And I think that Bayless could be more of a gadget guy on this team, right? That guy that's just the guy that's not the one trick pony. The guy that, hey, listen, he can do the end arounds. He can play a little running back. He can kick return. The guy that does everything. Our new Tariq Cohen, right? But the thing is that right now, I think when you're looking at this receiver room, I don't see a spot where he's getting a lot of reps as a receiver. And when I'm looking at the kick return, I see a spot that's in danger of him losing that spot possibly if Tyreek Stevenson does come out and do some kick returning early on. I think he's going to be a real threat in the special teams game. If you watch his college tape, he was a real threat for special teams there. I think that this is a guy that has to be a little bit concerned. So number one on the list for me is Bayless Jones. Hey, let me know how you guys are feeling in the comments below, man. Y'all already know how we do over here, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports every day, and I'll be down in the comments talking with you guys as well. Number 2 on the list. Number 2 on the list might be a little bit of a surprise, right? But number 2 on the list for me is Darnell Mooney. The Bears are going to have to pay a receiver. And it's not because I think there's a lack of talent or a lack of rapport with Justin Fields with Darnell Mooney. But to me, when I'm looking at what Darnell Mooney's production last season, heading into this season, right? If I'm Ryan Poles, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I just brought in this receiver, Tyler Scott. I got you, DJ Moore. Chase Claypool is here. And here's the thing that I think maybe puts Darnell a little more on the hot seat than Chase, because I know that's the argument most people are going to have. Darnell is not Ryan's guy. And while it shouldn't matter as long as a guy is talented, a lot of times it does matter. Ryan traded his draft capital to go get Chase Claypool. He traded his 2nd round pick to go get Chase Claypool. Darnell Mooney was already here, and yeah, is Claypool maybe not working out the way that he planned, or is there more potential for that to be the pick that doesn't end up panning out, or the move that doesn't end up panning out for the Chicago Bears? I'm not saying that any of that's wrong. I'm a little bit concerned on the Claypool deal right now. Oh, dang. I'm a little bit concerned on the Claypool deal right now because to me, right, like, it's concerning that in 8 weeks he couldn't figure out the playbook, right? Like it is a little, because I don't think the Bears playbook is the Patriots playbook. But at the end of the day, I think that when you're adding in when you're adding in Tyler Scott to this, I think Tyler Scott's going to be a really good player. I'm so excited to see what he's going to be. I think he's going to push the envelope in this receiver room and make people try to perform a little bit harder, a little bit higher. I think that he's going to build a great rapport with Justin Fields. I said this yesterday on the Daily Show. He's a deep shot threat, and Justin Fields is a deep shot type of quarterback. He's going to want to take those deep shots. He's going to want to put the ball down the field. Tyler Scott, a 4, that unofficial, I've seen a 4.29. I've seen as low as a 4.39. I've seen a 4.44. At his pro day, he did a 4.32. So you know what I mean? Like, this guy has burners. He has the size. He has the hands. He has the take the top off speed. I think that him and Justin are going to build up a really great rapport. You got DJ Moore already there. I see Ryan Poles giving Chase Claypool as much rope as possible this season. So I think that Darnell Mooney might be on the hot seat a little bit. I think he might be somebody who, when you look at his game, when you look at what he brings to the table, he's got to be that number 2 again that he was with Allen Robinson. He's got to be that guy that can go out there and get that 1,000+ yard season as the number 2 on this team. But he's competing with guys that I think can also go out there and do the same thing. I really do believe that Chase Claypool is a better player than what we saw last year. I think he's going to come in, playbook under his belt. Maybe he was dealing with some injury last season too. I don't know. It was such a weird year. Maybe they literally just didn't want to. There were weeks where they literally just didn't want to put him out there too. So maybe there was some calculation in that, like, we might win this game if we put too many people out there. Now, let's not do it. You know what I mean? But I think also just having a rapport with the quarterback is going to be so important. You saw last season, Justin Fields was not throwing to anybody who he did not go through training camp with. Justin Fields is big on trust. He's big on knowing that his guys are going to be there, and he'll get the ball to guys who he's working with. All of a sudden last season, the only people who were getting the ball was Cole Kmet and Equinemius St. Brown. That was all we saw last year. So hopefully, right, there'll be that rapport and that trust with Claypool and Justin Fields this year, and we'll be able to see a little bit more on that. Let me know how you feel about Mooney being on the hot seat, man. I think Darnell Mooney, to me, is an excellent player. I would love to see him here, but he is a player that's going to have to get paid. And you got to be making production if you're going to get paid. And I think that Ryan's going to lean more towards his guy than lean towards the guy that he didn't draft, or lean more towards the guy that he didn't, or lean more towards the guy that he put his draft capital in, I should say. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below, man. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Number 3 for me is one that I had to look at yesterday, right? The third guy on my list is probably the one that is most intriguing, but I kind of feel like Jalen Johnson might be on the hot seat to perform a little bit this season. Jalen Johnson, I think that he's a player that defends the ball well. I think that he gets his hand in there well. I think that he likes to beat up on the DBs and has the size to do so. But I think Tyreek Stevenson is going to be a nice DB for the Chicago Bears. And I think that at a minimum, he could push for that. I don't know if he's going to push for the top DB spot, right? Maybe the number 2, maybe Kyler Gordon shows you a little more this season. But I think that there needs to be something done here with not even the fact that maybe this guy is better, but maybe they have more of a belief in the future of this guy, again, because Ryan Poles drafted him, because Ryan Poles brought him into the fold. And I know they want that depth in that DB room, which is going to make things so much bigger. But Jalen Johnson's another guy that's going to have to get paid. And Jalen Johnson just hasn't performed at the level that we thought he would, right? Yurko said it best on the pod, on the Chicago Bears pod yesterday. Which one of Jalen Johnson's interceptions is your favorite? Jalen Johnson, to me, has to come into this season. Now, granted, right, I understand it's been an uphill battle. There's been no pressure from the defensive line. That does cause issues. That does take guys from here to all pros if you add pressure. I think that there's a lot of pieces in front of him that need to be a heck of a lot better this season as well. And you really can't take a ton in last season and just say, this is the guy that he is. But you would think that he would have more takeaways. You would think that he would have more, especially with kind of how ball hawking the mindset of that defensive backfield is. You would think that he would have a little bit better pass breakup record because, right, the first year, they basically just didn't throw at him. They basically were like, well, he's the only DB with any talent, so I'm not throwing the ball that way. I'm going to throw it over here. And now with last season, Kyler Gordon coming in, you had Jaquan Brisker back there. Eddie Jackson looked like he was in a resurgent mode all of a sudden, right? Your linebacker room is starting to kind of piece itself together. They started attacking Jalen Johnson a little bit more. And I mean, listen, they were winning battles out here quite a bit. Justin Jefferson. While Jalen Johnson's a guy, here's the funny thing, right? I feel like Jalen Johnson is a guy that you can look at the end of the day and look at his tape and say, he fought hard, he fought well, they still made this catch. He did all that he could on this play to make this happen. They still made this catch. And so to me, I think that there's going to be a serious look at that DB position, at that number one cornerback position. And there's going to be the mindset of, hey, listen, we love this guy, but he's not getting enough pass breakups. If he's not getting the interceptions, I can go with a younger guy that's going to be, a little bit less experienced at the position. But hey, I feel like I'm not going to give you top DB money, mid-level DB money when you're not giving me top to mid-level DB performance. Now, is that really the case? I think with more pressure, Jalen Johnson is going to show out, but I do think the fire's boiling a little bit on him. I think that the pot's boiling a little bit on Jalen Johnson as well. There's a lot of guys that are up to get paid that are going to have a really good performance this year. Hopefully these guys are some of them that do, but I do think that the pressure is on them. Let me know who you have as guys who are on the hot seat a little bit coming into this season with this new rookie class. I'll be down in the comments talking with you guys as well. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. To continue watching our Chicago Bears content, click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. And make sure to tune into today's episode of the Chicago Bears podcast over on ESPN 1000. Peace.